Hello and welcome back for Severance Season 1, Episode 2. I nearly said Twin Peaks. So, like a whisper
I would have
of
left
Twin Peaks.
immediately.
Yeah, too soon, Ben.
I wanted to just do a quick check-in. Everybody still enjoying the show? Yep.
I was chafing at the thought of having to stop.
Yeah, it gets a bit like that. Lots of new characters this week.
Yes.
Were there?
Yes.
I watched it like 5 days ago. I've forgotten already.
There were at least 3 new characters.
When the alarm goes off, we meet one. And then there was the doing that into the back of the thing.
And then there was the you like dogs.
Yes.
Your hair was
cheek-green
perfect
lady.
yesterday.
Oh,
Yes.
I love that. Oh my god, I
Your
love that
sexual
scene.
prowess.
Oh, that's right.
Please don't react.
You've lost 10 points.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to start as usual. I'm actually using a plot synopsis from the Severance wiki on fandom because it just takes so much time, and honestly, I'd just rather watch the show because I'm enjoying it as well. Oh, we've got a kitty.
I'm
We've
happy
got kitty.
if you're happy, Ben. Yeah.
Okay, as usual, just pipe up if I miss something, or because I'm not going to read this exactly as it is. I'm probably going to skip some stuff. And that's Ludo. Ludo's joining us. His head just disappeared.
Oh, it doesn't like me.
Scary face. I did not like that.
Okay, all right. So we start with Helly. We're basically seeing Helly recording that video that we saw at the end of the last episode. So, yes?
Sorry, Mr. Melchick. He does not appear to be severed, even though he works on the severed floor.
Yes, very interesting.
Or is he, but he knows them in both situations?
But then, yeah.
I didn't think he was severed, but he could.
No.
The way he's interacting with them isn't necessarily showing that he knows both sides at the same time, if that makes sense.
I think he does, because he's very managing of them. As in,
I mean, I definitely think him and Colbell, whatever her name is, are not severed. But I was just kind of like, are we supposed to think he's severed or not severed?
And we'll find out he actually is, you mean? Oh, so you mean, are we supposed to think he's not severed and he actually is?
Well, I just wasn't sure if we were supposed to think that he was or wasn't severed. Like, because when he interacts with them, he's only interacting with that split side.
No, but
Okay.
with Helly, he spoke to both sides of Helly.
Yes.
And also
he speaks with Mark on the outside.
Mm.
When he calls in sick.
Mm.
Wasn't he also in the surgery too?
Michael has no opinion on this.
No, I hadn't thought about it. It's a good point.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's a very attractive gentleman, though.
Yes, he is. I mean, he won an Emmy, didn't he? I'm pretty sure he won an Emmy.
Being attractive.
Is that how you win one?
Yeah. Generally. I mean, that is generally how you win them.
Yes,
being attractive.
Popularity contest.
Yeah.
You're pretty.
Yeah. Okay, all right. So once Helly's done on the recording, Mr. Milchick stops the recording and starts showing her around. And he's explaining what's going to happen to her. They look at that big carving. Do you guys have any opinion on this carving yet?
I didn't notice it the first episode.
Is that Kia?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is. It's a carving of Kier. And he says he loves seeing the sunrise on Kier's face. That's it. He actually does say that.
Yeah.
Mark, when he got his job upgrade, it was to help Kia do stuff.
Serve Kier. Yeah, that was something
that
Ms. Koval said.
Kia. Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
So is Kier the cult leader?
It does.
I think so.
Sort of feel that way, doesn't it?
It does.
Think,
like there's some of those biblical-looking pictures, and some of the things that they like the repetition stuff, and the few other bits and pieces.
Okay. So we also hear from Mr. Milchick that apparently Keir used to eat 3 raw eggs in milk each morning, which is disgusting, for his breakfast.
Which she said she'd heard as well and laughed, like
Yes.
as if she had no worries in the world.
Yep.
You'll have a shiny coat.
Thank you, Michael, for that reference about my dog. She has an egg with her dinner every night.
Not really, but
Mr. Milchick takes her to a room where she'll be prepped for the procedure, the severance procedure. So Helly's in the chair where they do the procedure, and she's...
I had to slightly turn the screen so I wasn't looking at it straight on for this bit.
I watched it like this.
Is
it done? Is it done?
Pretty gross.
Yeah, it was a bit ick. And the noises and everything.
The noises were too much.
Yeah, so she's saying...
again, because I thought, is that supposed to be skull, or is that something else? Is that like...
They drew
like
out
metal
past portion of her skull.
But then we're like, no, that was skull.
Yeah. So they cut... They put an
incision... As soon as we saw the back of her hair, it was like...
Yeah, so they do an incision into... I won't go into detail, but anyway.
Yeah, no. I can watch the episode.
Yeah. So she's saying, I've heard it doesn't hurt. Mr. Milchick tells her, just relax, and as basically she's cracked open. I make it sound a lot worse than it actually is.
But you can see they had the little spreaders.
Crackle like an egg.
Yep.
I really didn't watch it. I didn't even know there were spreaders.
They drill in and...
not for the... Yeah.
And Mr. Milchick is saying, I'll let you know how it went later. And he's very excited to meet her. And
they put an implant in as well. Did we?
Yeah, you can see that in the X-ray as it goes.
Yeah, because they've got the side-on shot, and we can see the X-ray in the background, and we can see the little thing going in it. And I was like, "Whoa!" I don't have to see this for me to be grossed out.
That makes sense why Petey was able to have it reversed, because it's just an implant.
Okay.
I have suspicions that his wasn't reversed, but he was able to not rewire his brain, but to bypass it at somehow.
Yeah, we'll find out more about that, I guess. So the next
it looks
thing...
like Irving can kind of do that a little bit too.
The next thing that Helly on the outside...
Also, Mr. Milchick says about the grab bar on the elevator as well.
Oh, that's right. If you feel unsteady, we've got a bar that you can hold on to, yeah. So the next shot that we actually see, at least from Helly's outside perspective, is her coming out into the stairwell. So we know now she did come out into the stairwell, and Mr. Milchick was
I do really enjoy this part.
Me too.
Yeah,
especially when she came flying.
I like when they do this thing from both perspectives. I really, really quite like that, especially because it's not for no reason. We are actually learning things.
It's not just retelling what's happened. Yeah, I enjoyed it in the first episode too.
Yeah,
and I'm glad they explained it too, unlike some of the things that we've watched previously, Ben, that never explains.
I don't know.
Not to name any Twin Peaks.
Mr. Milchick tells her, your orientation has been so fun. She asks where she is. He explains that, sometimes when a severed employee is having a hard time adjusting, they'll bring them to the stairwell. She asks if she's trying to leave, and he says no. Which is untrue. She was totally trying to leave. He says it's just part of the process.
Why would you need to lie about that?
I mean, that is a very fair question. Why would you, basically?
Because she knew going into it that herself might not be accepting of it once the procedure was done.
That's right, because she actually apologizes in advance for what she's going to be like.
Yeah. So why, just because he said, yes, you're trying to leave, it doesn't mean she's going to be like, well, I got to go.
Well, in this episode, we sort of discover the lengths that they go to so that the people who are on the inside cannot interact with people from the outside. Yeah. They go to extreme lengths to make sure that doesn't happen.
Either, by the sounds of it.
Yeah, they can quit permanently. Okay, where was I? So he says it's just part of the process. She just needs to turn around and go back in, and he welcomes her again a moment later. He says it's not a problem and tells her to give it another shot. I love that he's like, just give it another shot. Yeah. And once she's in, he tells someone on the phone, it's going fair, and then she dives through the door.
Flies in, yeah. I did like that.
Mr. Milchick helps her up, and she realizes, She doesn't want to be in there. Mr. Milchick says she's learning that she does. When they heard she was coming, it was like a miracle. And this is interesting. It's like, oh, that's weird. What she's doing is amazing. So she goes back in.
Like, what are they trying to sell her on? Because she's already bought it. I didn't understand that part.
Yeah. At the end of the day...
You muted yourself, Michael.
Oh, were you talking then, Michael? Sorry.
I felt pretty good about it because, my whole thing last week when I said, "Oh, is she someone important, or do we think she's someone important?" And I said to Sean before we started this episode, this again could be totally right off base, but what I was thinking last week was, like, if this was a fantasy book or whatever, she's the heir to the throne in my head, or she's on the board, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
To me, she seems like someone quite important who they wouldn't normally deal with, who's coming in on the inside or something.
Do you think that's what's prompted his comments of like, "Oh, we're really excited," all of that stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
I look forward to being way off base.
Okay.
I also feel the comments, they're really positive on the outside, and like you're really you're doing great, whereas on the reverse, because she has no idea, she's not doing great. She's terrified. She doesn't want to be there,
and she's trying to do anything to get out.
Overselling it in the real world. And then I think you kind of see that they are definitely a bit darker than they
definitely in this episode, so she goes back in, and at the end of the day when she leaves, because again it's just from her outside perspective, so for her she walks back in and then she's coming up in the lift. Mr. Milchick is there to greet her with flowers. We cut to the next morning. And Mark is entering the office where all their desks are, and he turns the lights on, and he grabs a checklist, which is like a bunch of tasks he has to do in the morning.
I paused it.
Yeah, so there's like making coffee, refilling the bathroom soap. What else was there, Nelly?
All the things we saw.
Taken a picture. Yeah, all the things we saw.
Everything you did.
And the internally or externally acknowledge the. Was it Kia thing?
Internally.
Oh, yeah, the portrait on the wall. I did say that, yeah.
And then something about leadership down the bottom that he could do either internally or it's like you've got this or something.
I didn't get that far. It cut away before then.
It felt very... I don't know. It felt odd.
I reckon if it was a spreadsheet, you would have gotten all of those, Michael. So
it felt like someone like ritualistic, like when you were talking about a cult before.
Yeah,
that's what it felt like.
Okay, as he dusts the picture of himself with Dylan, Irving, and Petey, he pauses to look at Petey. So he actually takes the copy of the picture from each of their desks and puts them in storage, which we find out is like behind one of the walls. Helly finds him there and asks if it's tomorrow now. He tells her it's actually Monday. She's just like so discombobulated.
A whole weekend.
Was this when she was wearing the same outfit?
It's similar colours, but it was different, I think.
It looked identical.
This next bit was right off base for me. I think they got the next bit wrong.
Okay. She doesn't even feel like she left and an entire weekend happened. He says that's how nights and weekends feel for them. She'll get used to it. He finds it helpful to focus on the effects of the sleep since they don't get to experience sleep itself. Now that, for me, was
what did he say? What did he say? He's like, I feel like refreshed and I don't know, like in a good mood or something. I'm like, have you experienced Mondays or not?
You know what a Monday is?
This isn't jiving.
He says she might feel rejuvenated or happy. It's 9:05. He says they stagger their entry so that they don't meet on the outside, which they find important. She asks if they're not friends. He says, guess not. Dylan is now training Helly in how to use the computer that's behind Michael, and he's telling her about Tumwater, which he started 11 weeks ago.
Not Dylan.
What? No, I'm saying our Michael. The computer screen behind our Michael.
No, but you said Dylan. I'm like, who's Dylan?
The bigger guy, the short, bigger guy.
He's the
But
With
no,
the
it wasn't
glasses.
him. It was.
No, at first it was
Yeah,
him.
he was telling her about the finger traps and all
Yeah.
the things.
And the raises, the
Yeah.
incentives. Sorry, yeah.
He says, so he's currently working on Tumwater, which he started 11 weeks ago. He's 96% through sorting it, so he's earned 4 of the 5 tier incentives. Wow, they really incentivize like everything. This is so corporate, really.
And they're super exciting.
Yeah. He shows her, he's really into all the rewards. He shows her the erasers and finger traps he's earned. 100% completion is tier 5, which gets you a caricature portrait, which he's got a drawer full of.
But he also says they don't always get to that tier.
Yes.
Yeah, why did they
Data
time
goes
out?
away.
Yeah, why? I don't know why.
Yeah, so she asks if that's the highest reward. He says for percentages, yes, but if they hit their numbers by quarter's end, whatever the numbers are, one of them gets named Refiner of the Quarter, which gets you a waffle party. Exciting.
She asks about the thing on Mark's desk, doesn't she?
She does. He tells her that he's a deadlock for this quarter, so she shouldn't get her hopes up. She asks him about Mark's crystal head cube, but Dylan explains that wasn't a prize, just a gift they gave him, so we don't know what that was for yet.
That feels a bit odd too.
From under the desk, Mark asks, because Mark this whole time is like under Helly's desk, which she's not standing at, trying to get her computer all hooked up.
Which I don't understand because it was hooked up to begin with. Because
I don't know. Desk. That's a very good question. I don't know. I don't know how the computers work, Nearly.
Not someone who cares.
Sorry. Every time we see the lumen symbol throughout this whole thing, it does its like phase out whatever, and you're left with the droplet. I want to know what the droplet means.
That's a good question.
Water.
And actually, I didn't really cover it, but while Mark was doing his morning ritual with the checklist, everything had lumen on it. Like literally everything.
Yeah. They make everything. Yes, I made a comment of that to Mum. Like, what don't they do?
Yeah, that's a good question.
It's like even on the snacks and everything as well.
Yeah.
So from under the desk, Mark asks Helly to turn on the console or turn on the computer. She turns it on, and Mark opens the Sienna file for her. And we see like even the operating system is Lumen OS. I don't know if you picked that up, Michael. So nerds unite! Woo!
I didn't care.
Irving interrupts Mark while he's talking to ask Mark about him removing the group picture from their desk, and and that's it. He's like pulling the transition down. It's the eye work here, just the eye contact thing is really amusing as well because
it's moving partitions.
Yeah,
fancy.
Yeah,
it is very fancy.
Because I did notice while he was doing his computer, somewhere like half and whatever upped. I'm like, oh, okay, clearly they can move.
Yep.
But they're all on a motor, by the looks of it.
Yep. So Mark says he did that because they'll be taking a new group picture today at Helly's party. Mark shows Helly the contents of the file and says everything in it falls into the one of the 4 categories down the bottom. They group each line and sort it evenly between 5 digital buckets. He has her poke around. Irving interrupts again to say the old photos are supposed to stay on the desk until the new ones come. This is like Process Man. That's who everyone has worked with Process Man, right?
Yeah.
Actually, I think we check Process.
Let me print it out for you.
Yeah. Where was I? They're supposed to stay on the desk until the new ones come in, and Mark basically just ignores him. But he gives him the eye. Helly asks if data is supposed to make sense to her. Mark says no, it's all encoded. She'll categorize it based on how each line makes her feel, which this is just so weird.
She's looking for scary numbers, guys. Scary numbers.
Yeah, scary numbers. I did like her joking.
Yeah.
And then what is it? Irving thinks he's taking swear words out of movies.
Yes.
And Dylan said
His was
the ocean.
Yeah, the ocean.
The ocean,
they're cleaning up.
right.
Creating somewhere for people to live in the ocean and
Because
killing
there's been an
eels. It was
apocalypse.
killing
That's
eels.
right.
Every time he does it, he's killing an eel.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it's not that.
So
Yeah.
Helly is bewildered by this. Mark says it doesn't make sense until you see it, and it'll take a while to see it. Irving comes up with a passage in the handbook, which has been printed on blue paper, I might add, which I forgot to mention. When he at one stage earlier, when he was talking to Helly, he was getting paper from the storage, and he was getting three different colors of paper for some reason. I don't know why. Mark said it doesn't make sense. So Irving comes up with a passage in the handbook about changing group photos, which he's printed out. Helly asks if she's trapped there or if she can quit. Mark says she can submit a resignation request with her outside self for review, but he and Dylan admit they tend to be rejected. Plus, this version of her only exists in Lumen, so quitting would mean she ceases to exist. It would be like she dies. Mr. Milchick comes in with a melon bar, I guess, and welcomes Helly, saying she's fitting in and they should get this party started. He's a party animal, Mr. Milchick.
Melon party is a very sad party.
Yeah, it's so like the melon aspect of it like made me go, is this the 60s or 70s? Like, I don't know, just something about the bald melons.
Well, yeah, because it was the cantaloupe in half. Is it cantaloupe? Yes, in half or honeydew, whatever. Like with the zigzag
little
lines.
balls in it,
and then they'd been melon balled out and sitting in it.
Yeah,
and that was your choice.
I'm
one of my favorite parts.
I did like melon.
One of my favorite things about the melon thing is the shot where Dylan is standing there trying to decide which one he's going to do. Just do one.
You have two options, mate, and they taste pretty much the same. So move along.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly,
it's like
Michael
you have
doesn't
watermelon
like
in
melon.
there.
Michael doesn't like melon.
No, not really.
I don't like watermelon either. I'm like,
either.
where's the choices for the melonators?
Yeah, I'm not a melon gal.
And also with the machine later on, there's not a lot of choice for unhealthy snacks.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll get back to where I was up to. Mr. Milchick starts the game by rolling the ball to Irving, who introduces himself and says he's worked there for 3 years. This is actually a good spot to get some background on some of the characters. Something about him is that he knows all 9 core Lumen principles. Mr. Milchick asks him which is his favourite. He hesitates for a moment before saying all 9, but for today, cheer. So he's like a hardcore company man. He is.
He's a real sort of suck-up kid at school.
Also,
I think he needs to be, as we see later.
Yeah.
When Mark came in the morning to do all the setup and stuff, where he's dusting the rule books, like the rule book's pretty thick.
Yep.
But then the 3 amendments that come afterwards are pretty decent either.
There's
and they're in their little
4 gigantic books.
Perfect alcove. Yeah.
Where was I? So
passing the ball. Irving. Yeah.
Irving. Oh yeah. So that's right. So Irving stands up and starts to do a trust fall, but Mr. Milchick quickly gets up and stops him saying, "There's no trust fall
not today." That was hilarious.
He loves it that much.
He's one of those people.
Yeah.
He's all in.
Irving sits down and rolls the ball to Helly over her objection. She picks it up and says she's been at Lumen for 10 hours and doesn't know anything about herself. She tosses the ball to Mr. Milchick, who tosses it back, saying she does know something. She insists she doesn't. She went home last night, but she doesn't know what home to.
Didn't he say that's not how you play the game or something? He feels very primary school teacher-esque to a child that's being a bit naughty kind of thing.
The whole scene was.
His whole scene, yes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yep. Something's not right.
So she insists, saying she doesn't even know what home is. Dylan likes to think he's outie, which is the first time we've heard this. Lives on a riverboat. Helly
if we
asks,
find out this whole show is just that they are belly buttons, I'm going to be really pissed off when you've been warned now.
One of the only things I knew about the show was that there were innies and outies.
Yeah. Helly asks what an outie is. Mark says they're outies of them in the outside world beyond the 7th floor of Lumen. She saw hers yesterday in the video. Helly says she has some things to say to her outie and asks if she can record something back. Irving laughs. Mr. Milchick says communication between cells is curtailed. Helly asks about writing her outie a note. Mr. Milchick says the elevators are equipped with code detectors so messages can't be passed through. And when this happened, I was like, what?
Hmm.
What
Yeah.
are you talking about?
I think she had the same reaction.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, whatever.
Has Mr. Milchick told her about herself as well? Because he tells her like how old she is.
Oh, yeah, he's about
Yeah,
to.
he says,
Something else.
I can tell you something. Yeah.
Yeah, Helly tries to ask in another way, but Mr. Milchick says she's not understanding the game. And this is, it's more like, okay, child, you need to sit down. We're playing the game right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He takes the ball from her and says, she's Helly. She's 30 years old. Is allergic to almonds. But it's like, how would she know any of this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I hope you don't have almonds in the vending machine.
Yeah, well, geez. And has weak enamel, which I was like, well, okay, that's different.
Yeah.
Detailed.
Yeah, that's really not helpful.
Leave her teeth out of this.
At 5'6", she's the fourth tallest person in the office, and it's just like, these are such weird things to say. Next, Mark gets the ball. He says he's Mark, and he's been with Lumen for 2 years, and he loves this game. Mr. Milchick says, that's what you said last time. Come on. Again, just he says, Mark thinks for a minute, then says he broke protocol this morning, and the situation gets a bit serious. He was dusting the old group photos, and it made him feel sad to see Petey and worried that he wouldn't be able to run macro data refinement like Petey. Dylan has similar worries about Mark running it. A real friend, Dylan is.
And Irving says that he correlates that did happen as well, that he broke protocol.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah, exactly. Mr. Milchick finds his reaction sweet, but is puzzled that Mark would have an outburst like this over Petey and not for Carol D. Who's Carol D?
Yeah.
Mark
I
says
think too hard about Carol D.
They knew Carol D.
That's why she didn't go well.
Yeah, but Mark says the difference is they knew Carol D was leaving before she did, and her Audi filmed a thank you. Petey was just gone, and they didn't know what happened to him. Mr. Milchick interrupts him as he lists possibilities, which one of them is that he's dead. He says it's a good time.
It's interesting that that he's having that thought process about I kind of think of the innies, if you will, as not having much emotion. Like that side of kind of been stripped out a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. Like we see it in the training. Yep.
Yeah, so it's interesting to see that he's recognizing that wasn't the way it should have been done.
He says it's a good time to remind themselves that things like deaths happen outside of Lumen. A life at Lumen is protected from such things, and I don't know why that would be the case. Someone could totally die at Lumen.
Yeah, I didn't get that either.
They should have gratitude.
Yeah, but you
for
wouldn't
that.
know they died because it'd be in the outside world.
No, but they can just die in the office.
Inside.
Yeah.
I presume.
There's nothing stopping them from dying there. Well, that I know of.
I feel like there would be protocols around that, Ben.
Probably. Yeah, there's definitely a few good thick manuals about that process.
Yeah.
He's Mr. Milchick says
you might die if someone throws a speaker at your temple.
Yeah.
But then what's further up the scale of being almost killed? What's your reward other than a dinner at the VIP section?
Yeah, that's a good one.
What do you reckon?
Yeah.
That's all you get.
New washing machine or something?
Yeah,
just dinner at the VIP section.
Good questions. Very good questions. So Mr. Milchick directs them to the melon bar. We see a shot of Dylan struggling to choose which melon, which is just like, you've got a choice of two, mate. Just feel free to take both, okay?
And he already had someone plate.
Yeah. Irving looks down at his and then puts it down. He notices something black under his fingernails. Mark apologizes to Helly for derailing her game. Helly admits that while she already had, he definitely made it worse. She asks how he'll find out if Petey's okay. Mark says Mr. Milchick was clear, and Helly is surprised that he's done asking questions about his best friend suddenly disappearing. Mark defends Mr. Milchick, saying it's best to listen. And this is a little bit foreboding when he says that. You know, it's best to just do what he says, yeah.
I'd forgotten about the fingernail.
Well,
Yeah, same.
Here I am, Michael, to remind you.
It reminded me a bit of like it was charcoal or something. That's what it looked like.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'm surprised like they don't have a process for that. Like they're going through the whole thing in the lockers of changing their watch for whatever reason. Like why are they not washing their hands or doing something like that as well?
Or that the security cameras, whatever, didn't pick up that there was
Yeah.
something wrong with him.
Someone's not doing their job.
Or it was a sneaky way of just trying to get his innie's attention.
That's a good, those are good points. Good points.
Same with the tissue.
I'm obviously not going to acknowledge anything to give you any hints about what might be happening or might not be happening.
Yeah.
Mr. Milchick calls them over. Oh, so specifically, Mark defends Mr. Milchick, saying it's best to listen when he says to do things because he can't always be nice like that. It's very foreboding.
Yeah.
Mr. Milchick calls their attention to take a new group photo. They all line up against the wall for the picture. Mr. Milchick just starts taking shots, and then Helly just walks away. She says she's not going to work here anymore.
Not smiling at all.
With the camera was right after she kind of blacked out in the surgery. He takes a picture.
Yes, he did.
That felt sinister.
Maybe it's for his personal collection. I don't know.
I didn't notice.
He's got a thing for women undergoing cranial procedures. I don't know.
But again, that camera is oldish tech looking.
Yes.
As opposed to tiny little thing that they're implanting into their head. That's very...
Yeah, it doesn't match up.
Yep. So she, at the desk she's rushed over to, she writes a note on a notepad saying she doesn't want to do any of it. Mark says they told her there's code detectors. She asks if he's tried because it sounds made up to her. I mean, it does sound made up.
I mean, fair. Yeah.
They judge this pretty well, actually, this scene.
Yeah. Mark,
in terms of getting us to think a certain way.
Mark follows her as she walks down the hall. She runs when she notices him following. She puts her access card in the elevator and gets on. The lights immediately turn red and Mark is shut out from getting near the elevator.
And her doesn't close.
Yes.
It's like there's a big gap.
And we meet a new character, Mr. Grainer, who we've heard of.
Mark is very afraid of.
Yes. Petey referenced him. Grainer's looking for me. That's what he said in episode 1.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay.
I ignored it because I didn't know what it meant.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Mr. Grainer appears as Helly tries to force the elevator doors closed. He stops the lights from flashing with a little clicker and tells Helly to come out of the elevator. He takes the note from her and tells her to come with him. Mark calls him and says Helly's a wayward trainee. He says it's his first time training. He must have forgotten to go over data smuggling rules with her. He introduces Helly to Mr. Grainer and takes the blame for Helly tripping the alarm. Mr. Grainer says it's on him as department chief and has Mark follow him instead of Helly. Mr. Grainer leads Mark to a room that on the outset says break room and lets him in. And Mark enters and we see it's a long green hallway and it's not
dark.
Unlike all the other hallways, this is not lit very well at all.
Yeah.
And at the end, the door opens and we see it's Ms. Coble and she's waiting.
Everybody's favorite.
Yep.
Yeah.
Outie Mark
Very happy to see it.
is having a drink/dinner with a woman who's a midwife. Her name's Alexa. She's telling him about all the births she does, mostly in Montana. Montana? How would you say that?
Montana.
I think, yeah.
Montana. Okay.
Yeah.
That got worse again.
Yep.
Always does.
So she's telling him, he would do about 2 per day, and he's drinking a lot. He's like constantly drinking throughout the conversation.
Well, the
Um,
conversation's
sister
going
mentioned-
pretty badly.
yeah, and it's also like it's really just
also not happy in
surface
this
level
world.
stuff. It's just not really getting to know her. It's just like, yeah, okay, this is the basic stuff
Yeah.
you talk to people about. And she jokes that, oh, you were vetting me for your sister or something. He says he isn't, but that she seems great. He finishes his drink, and she asks him about his work for Lumen. He says he's in the archives division, working as a corporate historian of sorts. He's clearly got no idea what he does. It's sensitive material, which is why he had to be severed. Alexa asks if he really doesn't know anything about his work. He says that's the idea. She says he could have a girlfriend at Lumen and not know it. And if he met someone on the outside, he wouldn't know in there. He could be married with kids and forget they exist for 8 hours every day, which is... And she asks, doesn't that mess with your head? And he says, that's the point for some people. Just to forget.
like
It was an interesting idea because in my head they kind of all have something wrong with them. Something wrong with them is
something that
they're going through something, or they don't really have family, like in that aspect. In my head, that doesn't mean that's not true.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Yep. Mark and Alexa walk outside, and she asks if the temperature feels normal to him as a local, and he says he's technically from Gans, and asks if Minnesota isn't, and she's completely not from Minnesota. He's just
she's from where then?
Montana.
Oh God!
And that's how you say it.
Apologies to any people from Montana.
And it just illustrates that he's completely been checked out of this entire conversation that he's been having with her.
Yeah.
Do
we know how long ago his wife died? Well, they haven't really said an exact time frame.
We just heard it was an anniversary. Oh,
Yeah,
actually,
that's all
why
we
do
know.
I have... They didn't say 2 years, did they? Did they say 2?
I think they said 3, actually. I think in the first episode at the dinner party, they said something about 3 years.
Yeah.
So he's been severed for 2 years, so it's at least 2.
Oh, maybe that's why.
Yeah, I think that Rickon said that she'd passed away 3 years ago. I think that's what he said. Okay, all right. So she says, does he live in the Lumen housing? And he says he lives in Bear Creek, which is subsidized by Lumen. So, Michael, you were saying last episode. There you go. They come across people from the Whole Mind Collective handing out flyers opposing Severance. Mark approaches them, and they explain that they're trying to keep companies like Lumen from forcing their employees to get severed. They're lobbying for it, and James Egan is trying to sever kids. That's what they say. Mark asks, what about the self-mutilation types who do it willingly? They realise he's mocking them, and they start arguing. Mark then looks at Alexa, and they walk away. At home, Mark's...
Egan, did you say?
Pardon?
What was it? What was the name? Egan.
James Egan. At home, Mark drinks a beer. He might be an alcoholic. He goes to answer his door and find...
His sister says he smells like a brewery previously as well.
And his sister mentioned about how the dad and him had matching flasks of whiskey and stuff. So,
and how they mentioned he looks rough when he's at severed thing on the 7th floor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Mark answers the door, and of course it's Mrs. Selvig with the peace offering for the bin situation. He so at this stage, obviously, we know Mrs. Selvig is Ms. Coble. So, what is going on here? Does everybody who's severed get this kind of treatment?
Yeah.
And if not, what's special about Mark?
I feel like he, I don't know, there's something different about him, like showing the emotion and all of that and caring about what's happened to Petey. Dylan and Irving didn't care. Not that they didn't care, but they weren't concerned about it like Mark was. And
flashbacks of we'll kind of have a step back and we're actually in the Matrix and everybody is just in all these tanks and we're being farmed for nutrients kind of thing.
Well, that's what Sean thinks this show is, so...
So we're in a world inside a world. Inside a world.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Yep. Yeah, Michael clearly knows that reference as well, all about the movie references.
Yeah.
No, I have seen that.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, I'm pretty sure Matrix is actually in that window. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he invites her in, and she sort of just walks in anyway. And she says she's experimenting with chamomile or chamomile, whatever you want to say. She notices he smells nice and asks, "Oh, were you on a date?" He says his sister set him up with her midwife.
That's really intrusive.
Yeah.
He also had just been holding and about to look at the letter that Petey had given him when she walked in. He had the red envelope in his hand, and then he placed it down. And in my head, I was like, "Don't put it down. She's gonna take it."
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't trust
What
Miss
did
Kerbal.
she say about bulbs or something?
About what?
She says something about trying to the light globes bulb or something.
Oh yeah, so
one of his light globes doesn't work.
Oh yes.
Yeah. And
I feel like that's an implanted thing to get him to go somewhere to do something.
It's also like, how often does she come into his house to know that? It's very
Well,
strange.
she just saw that it was out. What do you mean? That one of the lights was out in the hallway?
because she's like, "Oh, she mentions, "Oh, you're still trying to..."
Yeah, there's something.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so well, you're technically right, Katie, because we don't know, and she might just be making a reference that was just an offhand comment. But for me, I took it as implying that she's seen this before, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
He tries one of the cookies and grimaces, but then says they're magic. You liar. She tells him her late husband was a carpenter, and before he died, he said he would start building them a house in the hereafter with a guest apartment in the back in case she found a new man before she got there. He even drew up plans, which she keeps in her purse. I don't trust anything she says.
No. She's just trying to be personable.
Yeah.
I feel.
Well done.
I was waiting for her to
Katie, you got
whip
it.
out the plans as well.
She's trying to be a normal human.
Yeah.
And she's not coming off.
She's not very good at it. As Mark sees Mrs. Selvig out, she tells him to stop by the shop for a mugwort bath bomb to help him sleep. Mark goes back in and looks at his burned out light, then goes down to the basement to find a bulb. Down there, he finds some of Gemma's crafts. He closes the box.
He picks up a candle, a green and red candle.
Yes, so that must be stuff that his wife worked on or something. Mark sleeps on his couch with the TV on. The next morning, Mark finds the whole Mind Collective flyer in his pocket as he gets into his car. He goes back inside to get the card from Petey and leaves again. As he drives, he calls in sick to Lumen, and the whole conversation that he has with Mr. Milchick is just like... The way that Mr. Milchick talks is even a little bit unsettling, because it's just too chipper constantly.
Yeah. He's also in the car. Like,
yes.
He'd be able to tell you're in a car.
That's a good point. Yeah.
I didn't actually think of that. That is a very good point.
You sound very different talking on a phone in a car. Yeah.
Was the car moving though?
Yes.
Was the car
stationary? He was driving.
Yeah.
No,
Maybe he was going to get medicine.
Clearly he has not done the I'm sick very well before.
No.
He says it's a minor stomach event and expects to be back tomorrow.
I like that too.
Minor stomach event.
It was the cookie.
Is anyone going to try that one? Try it at work. No, I'm just having a minor stomach event.
Minor.
It's like that.
Yeah, it just... I liked it.
And Mr. Milchick is, well, he's hoping you feel better soon. He's just like, the whole tone of him is just so off.
I didn't feel like he believed him when he was talking.
Yeah.
Not at all.
He knew he was faking it.
In the office, we see Irving going to the kitchenette, and Dylan arrives asking where Mark is. Dylan says he's probably sick because they wouldn't fire him and Petey in the same week. Irving hopes not, because the quarterly deadline is coming up and he isn't looking to be the department chief. Dylan says that's a lot of confidence for a man who got disciplined for sleeping at work. Irving says he can't help that he was hired older than Dylan. Helly comes in and says it never stops. Dylan agrees. She asks about Mark and Dylan. Says he's sick or fired, but probably sick. Helly is worried that they might have fired him for her note. Dylan says no because he did his stint in the break room. We see Mr. Milchick tell Ms. Coble about Mark calling in sick. She asks if he sounded sick. Mr. Milchick said it was abdominal. I nearly said abdominable.
I'm sorry, almost said? You did say.
And Mr. Grainer finds the timing suspect. So
what
now
do
we know that
happened in the break room.
That's a good question, Michael.
Nothing good.
Either self-flagellation or...
Were they breaking?
No.
Some people are into
the
that.
The guy had a recording of what happened in the break room.
Yeah, and we'll get to that shortly.
But
but I reckon
also,
it involves pain or something, something.
I also wondered if they remember what happens in the break room.
They just know it's not pleasant.
That's a good question. So we see Mark arrive at the address that was on the back of the "Happy Birthday to my niece" card. Back in the office, Dylan's explaining that the erasers are mostly decorative since they don't have pencils. The finger traps are fun as long as you know how to use them safely. And I love that line. As long as you know how to use them safely. Like, what do you think's going to happen?
Forever.
Yeah, you're just going to be stuck.
It's really about representing how far you got in the file. Helly asks why they don't always finish the files, and Dylan explains that they only keep for so long. And yeah, so that's... we were talking about that before. Yeah, it is a good question of why can't they just keep going until they finish it? Yeah.
It made me try and think of sinister things that have an expiry date kind of thing.
Okay. Like what? Anything in particular?
Like a conflict. Because it lasts a certain amount, I was thinking maybe it's like a war or conflict kind of thing, but that doesn't feel long enough, or I don't know, some political stuff.
I don't know that they actually said it, but
zero idea.
Like it was just a fixed period of time, right? That they weren't all different. Maybe I just made an assumption.
Okay.
Well,
I don't know that they specified.
I'd say yes. It'd be what, a 3-month thing.
Okay. I'll continue on. Where was I? They finish about 1 in 5 before they expire. That's better than it used to be, apparently, before Mark's freshman fluke. Oh, so there's definitely a Dylan/Mark rivalry here with these files. Yep. As Dylan explains that, Irving starts to nod off at his station. He dreams of black ooze spilling onto his station. He screams, which wakes him up. Mr. Milchick comes in and calls to him.
So did something like that happen in his outside life?
Good question.
Or...
I kind of thought it was he's doing something he's not supposed to be doing. Like, in my mind, they sleep outside of work, so why would he be falling asleep at work?
Well, his excuse...
Does that make sense? Like his...
Old.
Yeah, that's right.
Like I would think that his severed thing, his innie, sorry, I forgot the technical term.
Yep.
His innie wouldn't really know what sleep is.
That's right. It begs the question of what's his outie doing that his innie is tired?
Moonlighting.
And is the black sludge showing what's actually happening on the floor?
Well, the black sludge was in the intro.
Yes.
As soon as it started happening, I'm like...
Oh, yeah, we didn't talk about the intro.
No.
Yeah.
We didn't. It's actually... That intro sequence won an award. I can't remember what it was, but it did. I'll continue on. Oh, did you guys want to delve into the intro sequence?
It's animated, wasn't it? It was animated.
I mean... Yeah, and it was obviously, supposed to be surreal, but I assumed that once you've watched it all, there's a lot of references that are actually important, and kind of the bit.
I feel like the black sludge is important now.
Okay.
It actually reminded me of Murderbot's intro. You know how it's the animated little person kind of thing. Anyway.
And the bit at the end where, a second version of himself sort of lies down next to him in the bed and he's wearing that sort of reddy brown sort of suit or whatever.
Yeah.
Yep.
I assume there's lots of cool references in there that we just don't understand yet.
Maybe over time you guys will start to be like, oh, that's what that means.
Also, it looked like there might not just be 2 severed versions. Because it's a lot of multiplicity of him as well in the intro.
Mm.
That's right. There was the
And yeah,
coffee
why
cup.
that kind of suit as well? Yeah.
Okay. So after Mr. Milchick calls to Irving, they cut back to Mark, who's exploring what looks to be an abandoned greenhouse, and he finally spots Petey. Sorry, I'm hiccuping. Don't mind me. We're back with Mr. Milchick explaining that they're going to deduct the time Irving spent sleeping from his Audie's paycheck. It's like, how long did he sleep for?
Yeah.
Like
Really
a
doesn't
second? Seriously.
Exactly. If I was deducted for some of the times I just zone out a bit while I was just like sitting at a thing thinking of something else.
Mr. Milchick
Yeah.
says it's going to be hard to fix my and Ms. Cobal's trust in you, Irving. He says sorry. Mr. Milchick says they don't want to send him to the break room, so he'll do a wellness check with Ms. Casey, and they'll go from there. Mr. Milchick sends him into the wellness room.
They've got him hook, line, and sinker, haven't they?
Yes, totally.
He's
he's all in.
Totally indoctrinated.
Yeah. Helly is looking through her file, but hasn't found anything on her computer, but hasn't found anything scary yet. Dylan tells her, "Just be patient. You'll understand when you see it." She asks what the numbers even are, and this is when Dylan tells her his theory that they're cleaning the sea. If their Audis are severing their brains, things must have gotten pretty bad. Humanity's desperate, so they're cleaning up the sea so they can populate it. And then he mentions that Irving thinks they're cutting swear words out of movies, which is it's so cute. Irving is just like, you are so like idealistic and
PG.
innocent.
Yeah.
What's that, Nelly?
Do we think that it's catching? Do we think that that's any reflection on their Audis as well?
I mean, possibly.
The kind of things that they,
I mean, that's a good question. Do we think that the personality of their Audi and the personality of their innie are similar at all?
No, well, Petey mentions that, saying that they all wanted to think that they were decent people, kind of thing. Their Audi was.
I assume there would have to be.
But the innie's not a decent person. They don't know what they're doing. So
yeah, but they're heavily indoctrinated.
Yeah. And then
I feel like there would be some reflection or some latent part of themselves. Or I just wondered if he was, like devout or something like that on the outside, that he would be caring about swearing in movies, or
okay,
I don't know.
Would they have the same personalities that they have in the outside world?
I think fairly changed.
Yeah, Mark is very different. Well, because he's not dealing with grief.
Because he doesn't remember. But is that how he was before his wife passed?
Well, I would probably say that
I assume not.
The Audi has like the lived experience of getting to the age that they're at, but the innie has none of that. All they can experience is what's inside. So they're totally
I did wonder about that. Hang on.
Sure.
I mean, you're probably right because you've lived it before. But I actually wondered whether do they remember everything up to the point that they were severed, or do they only not know the outside life after they were severed? I assumed that they knew everything up until the point that because he knows about his wife.
And skills and stuff.
He does not know about his
wife. No, he's never mentioned his wife before.
Yeah, true. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, yep.
That's the part I'm kind of stuck on as well. It was like, well, how are they supposed to still then be able to function? It makes me think that there's a bit more to the severed procedure then, because
it's like,
you reckon they.
So we have what's it called? There are reflexes. So there's voluntary reflexes, and then there's involuntary reflexes. So involuntary reflexes are like swallowing and things like that.
But there's still thing they've learned. Like they know how to read.
They have muscle memory. That is a good point.
Yeah. So why haven't they forgotten how to read? Or speak? Yeah. There's a good question.
Well, they haven't reset their brain. They've split it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So my think is
they just don't know
the same person, and then you're then two different people from that point going on, but you started from the same point. Is how I took it.
Yeah, but they've definitely done something to the.
Yeah, they've edited their memory.
If only Sian was here, she could like give us some analysis about where exactly they inserted that thing inside the brain.
Missing the scientific component.
It's your frontal, it's your temporal, it's your occipital, and I've forgotten what the other one is. But yeah.
I also kind of
that was
assume
like.
that he doesn't necessarily drink this heavily all the time. Like, it is around the time of his anniversary as well.
Okay.
I know he's in a bad way, but maybe he's not this bad all the time.
I assume that's why he's so down, because it is the anniversary.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll continue on.
Otherwise, he'd be coming in looking rough every morning.
Maybe they're just used to it. I don't know.
No, but nobody comments on how he
that's
looks
true.
rough.
That's true.
This
Yeah.
morning.
Okay, all right. So back with Mark. He's speaking with Petey, and he asks Petey what they're actually doing on the 7th floor. Petey doesn't know, though. He thought it would make more sense without Severance, but it doesn't. They separate them from the other departments, and he doesn't even know how many there are. He's been reintegrated for 2 weeks. Yep, and he's been mapping out the floor. He points to a nearby map that he's drawn, and he says he hid the original for Mark when he left. So I'm assuming that means that there's an original copy of the map inside Lumen.
Yeah.
Petey starts to cry and hold his head. Mark asks if he's okay, and he says it's reintegration sickness. He's the first person who's ever had it. Living in the greenhouse isn't helping.
I just made up the term, in fact.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he says living in the greenhouse isn't helping, but he can't go home. Mark asks what happens.
Wibbly wobblies.
Yeah, on the 7th floor that's so bad. Petey says there's a room where they go where they don't act when they don't act right. Petey pulls out a tape recorder and plays a tape. It's him and Mr. Milchick. Mr. Milchick keeps saying he doesn't believe Petey's truly sorry, despite Petey saying he is. Was it Petey? I thought it was actually Mark.
Yeah,
I think it was Mark. And that he's begging, kind of thing. It felt like he's being a penitent.
Mark was too invested in it for it to be Petey, I feel, because he was
so
more intrigued in it.
We hear Mark saying a statement again, like he's reciting something about his wrongdoing and how he's grateful to have been caught and allowed to make amends. Mr. Milchick doesn't believe him and he has to start it again. Petey stops the tape and Mark asks, what was that? And Petey says, that's the break room. Are you intrigued about the break room yet?
Dun, dun, dun.
Yep.
It didn't really give you much.
No, but...
Because it kind of just sounds like they're being made to recite lines, but they also sound really distressed. So it's like, are they being...
The formula of the show at the moment has been that they tell you about something, and then the next episode they show you that thing that they were telling you about the previous episode.
Yeah.
So hopefully, fingers crossed. Because I've watched the first season, but I completely forgot that they did that whole thing with the operation on Heli in the second episode. So when you were saying, Michael, that there's going to be something in the beginning of the second episode that you probably don't want to see, I was like, what could he be talking about?
So there's a few times they've stepped back to tell past things now.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we cut back to Irving, who's sitting in a waiting room on a couch, and he gets up and he starts pacing, and he's looking at a painting, which I assume is of Keir Egan, standing above some people, and he's got like a whip or something. A man exits the wellness room. Look who it is.
Yes. And I'm like, oh, this can't be a single shot.
Christopher Walken.
Yeah.
I love him.
He's so good. I love his character in this because it's not like anything I've ever seen him do. Because he gets a bit typecast sometimes to play the same sort of character. But I love his character in this.
Well, my thought was, is this just a cameo or is he actually got a role?
I guess we'll find out.
I think Ben just gave it away, in all honesty, but cool.
Yeah.
And he apologizes because he didn't. So Christopher Walken's character walks out and apologizes because he didn't know anyone was out there. Irving says he was just admiring the art while he waited. The man tells him that piece hung in the perpetuity wing for many years. Irving knows and says it broke his heart when they took it down. The man says it's better there because it's calming. Irving introduces himself and says,
very calming.
Yeah. Well, for Irving, clearly. Irving introduces himself.
Perpetuity ward. Perpetuity ward. What's in the perpetuity ward?
That's a good question.
What does perpetuity mean?
On and repeating.
Oh, perpetual. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So
Which got me thinking as well. I'm like, maybe is this the first time they've been severed, or do they get severed more than once, or?
I want to get re-severed.
But because that's what I thought maybe the break room was. It was some like hypnotic way for them to partition him again, kind of thing, make him like not repeat that same wrongdoing kind of thing, just alter him a little bit. I don't know, experiment or whatever the reason why they're doing all this.
Okay.
Maybe perpetuity is like limbo.
Oh, so they're all dead. Is that what I'm hearing?
I just like throwing things at the wall.
And seeing what Katie's reaction is going to be.
No, I was fine with that until Ben said it, they're all dead.
Because if I say enough things, one of them might be right, and I'll just claim it.
So Irving introduces himself and asks if the man is a department head. The man says he works at optics and design, a 2-person operation, so it's barely a department. The man says they don't make the paintings, but they hang them. Irving loved that they did the Ambrose cycle in the team building space last quarter. The man says most people only think of optics and
Sounds
design
like he's brown-nosing.
when the new handbook totes come in. Irving loves those too. The man says there are new ones coming next month, and I think they're the best design yet. Irving's very excited about this. Ms. Casey opens the door and calls Irving in. The two men look at each other for a moment, and then Irving walks in. Ms. Casey starts Irving's wellness session by sharing some facts about his outie with him. His outie is an exemplary person, so these facts should be pleasing to him. She tells him to relax and try to enjoy each fact equally. It's so strange. This whole thing is just so strange.
She doesn't say try. She says, and enjoy each one of them equally. She doesn't say try, I don't think.
And again, this
You
really
must
feels
enjoy
like
each one.
regulating emotion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She starts to recite facts about his outie. When she says his outie can swim well, he laughs, and she tells him to enjoy each fact equally. She deducts 10 points, leaving him with 90. She continues reciting.
And he's not allowed to talk either.
Yeah. She continues reciting facts. When she says his outie is skilled at kissing and lovemaking, he makes a sound. She deducts another 10 points, and then warns him that speaking again will result in his remaining points being deducted and his session ending.
Okay. At this part, I'm like, she really needs to be in a dominatrix outfit with her whip just across her legs, and that at one point she switches her legs crossing and the leather squeaks.
Yep.
This was the vibes I got from that anyway.
Back at Dylan at the office, we see him taking a token out of a jar that has a sign next to it saying limit two per person per day. He puts the token into a vending machine full of Lumen food and selects raisins. Eventually selects raisins.
But the other choices didn't look pleasant either.
Yeah, but raisins were the worst choice, Nelly. Was he 5 years old?
Helly comes up to him and asks if the code detectors are only in the elevators or are they in the stairwells as well. She questions if the resignation request. She's like desperate to get out of here. She's like trying to pursue every possible avenue. He tells her to let it go. Irving comes in with his classic greeting. Anybody?
For dinner, kids?
Hey kids, what are we having for dinner or something?
Yeah.
What's for dinner, kids? Is it?
I think it is Hey Kids, what's for dinner, actually.
He's been refreshed. He's been rebooted.
Yep. Helly asks him how wellness was. He found it very restorative and says he met the, he says OD. He calls him OD, department head. Dylan says he's Bert. Dylan met him before and says he's a fuck. Such a strong reaction. Irving says he's not a fuck. Dylan is concerned for the safety of their department because of all of this. Meanwhile, at her station, Helly calls to them saying she finally found her first set of numbers to refine. Dylan and Irving come and stand behind her, and Dylan tells her to fence it off and bin it like he showed her. She does that, and he says it's been refined. She's shaken because the numbers were scary.
They're scary, yeah.
Back with Mark.
What do we think it is about them that makes them feel certain ways about the numbers? Or what is it about the numbers?
I don't know. Is it like
I have no idea.
Nothing.
Is it a hypnotic trigger or something?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah. Well, I want to know how they program them to realize that about the data without prior knowledge.
Or is it just like looking at clouds and stare at them long enough and you'll start seeing things?
Or is it like patterns of numbers trigger a certain reaction of some kind? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Is it hypnotic suggestion? I honestly don't know. So we'll see, I guess.
So we don't have an answer for that yet, guys.
We'll see.
This is Ben's classic response.
Yep.
That's a great question.
Yeah.
With the head thing.
Yep. So back with Mark. Mark has taken Petey back to his house, and they're in the basement at the moment. And Mark's telling him, "You'll find a sleeping bag." Mark finds him a sleeping bag, or goes to find him a sleeping. Petey thanks him for doing this. Mark figures his work self would be angry if he let Petey sleep in a greenhouse. Petey goes to the bathroom. Mark finds a sleeping bag and checks on Petey, who says he's okay. His phone rings and he faces another bout of symptoms. He starts to hallucinate, seeing himself. So he's in the shower and seeing himself looking in the mirror, and his nose is bleeding.
Was he looking in a mirror? I thought there was another person in the shower.
There was. It was him.
Okay.
Yeah. So
like clean shaven or something. I don't know.
He was seeing both versions of himself at once. It felt like.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
He slumps against the shower wall as Mark asks him through the wall if he's okay, and that was the end of the episode.
But I felt, is he dead? Is my question, because he didn't look very alive.
I guess we'll find out next week.
Can't kill Petey yet.
Because my thought was, is the phone triggering something in his head as well?
That's a good question.
As in, like it's a kill signal or something.
Yeah, was it?
There was sound effects.
Well, who would be calling him? I mean, that's probably a better question. Who would be calling him?
What's her face saw him come in because she's clearly observing him, the house.
Okay, did she?
I had an issue with that part because he's brought him to Lumen housing.
Yeah, so we do actually see a shot of Mrs. What was her name? What's her Audi?
Selvig.
Yeah, Mrs. Selvig looking through a window at Mark's house. But I think that if she'd seen him, she knows who Petey is. She knows him.
Yeah.
If she'd seen it, then he wouldn't be down there. She would have done something. So I
think he snuck him in.
Yeah, I don't think that she knows he's there. But the fact that... Sorry, go.
The way to sneak him in would be in the car. But no, he doesn't park his car in the garage.
It's true.
He parks it in front of it.
Maybe he would have a blanket over him.
Sorry, side effect.
He knew to put him in the basement, though, and not have him out. Like,
where
he knew to have him in the basement.
The basement doesn't look like that's where his personality is, though.
There was one moment, I think it was before he went out and drove in the car. It might have been when she was looking at his house, I'm not sure. But there was a shot of the street. Maybe it was when she was looking. And it was all snowy and everything. And that's when Sian thought she saw
the
screen
right.
like do a...
Yes,
Ben
that did happen.
You did see that.
Yes, I saw that.
Because we rewound it. I said, well, I'm not going to be able to see it.
It's not a very strong effect, but they definitely...
I don't know.
It's the image sort of stretches out a little bit. It was
so
definitely
like
happened.
On a camera.
Was that when she was looking at the house?
No, it was like just an exterior shot of the house. When she was looking at the house,
it was like an establishing shot kind of thing, or
yeah, I think that's what it was. But you couldn't see anyone at the time. It was just the houses.
Right. And based on what we know so far, I don't know. Based on what we know so far, it was just an odd place for it to be, even though I didn't see it myself, because she mentioned it. I thought, well, the other times we've seen it is like when he's going up and down in the lift, like when they're sort of crossing that threshold, or so why...
Oh, did she say it was like that?
Yeah. So why did it happen then when... I think it was before he drove out and saw Petey. Oh, I could be wrong. But it was definitely an outside scene going to an outside scene.
Yep.
So that was odd.
I can't remember exactly when it was either. Apologies. But I remember when it happened. I was like, I have to remember to mention this because Sian said it happened. And I definitely saw it.
I couldn't see it at all.
It's subtle. so I can understand why you didn't notice it.
They need to make it yellow, Michael.
Yeah.
So that's the end of episode 2, everyone. I still feeling good about this. There's lots of questions. Yeah. They are telling us stuff, but I guess it's just not very. I would say this is like the Lost level of telling us stuff, where they're like, yes, they're telling us stuff, but it's just raising more questions.
Yeah,
it doesn't
and Lost
help. Would always have the flashback of a certain character each kind of week as well.
Yeah.
I do totally agree with. You go.
Sorry, I'm just annoyed because I can't watch it straight away because then I'll forget half of it before the next Wednesday. So I can't really watch it till Monday or Tuesday, and I'm annoyed.
No, we just have to do 2 a week. That's why we watch so early in the week, to give you a chance.
We can totally do 2 a week.
Yeah, I'm happy to do 2 a week. This Monday was a bad Monday.
Maybe we'll record on Saturday evening.
Maybe.
I'll be catching the train home. Yeah, that should still work.
Okay.
Yeah, works for me.
I do agree with Nelly that it does feel like the kind of, and might not be, but the kind of show where they end up zooming out, that we're looking at a very small portion of it at the moment, and that, maybe both the in and the out are part of an experiment or, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's still Truman vibes and Matrix vibes.
I really enjoy the observations of what it's like to be an innie, where basically there's the potential that they just cease to exist because it's like, you quit, you never come back, so they don't exist anymore. It's fascinating to me.
Yeah.
Also, you put in our first episode 1, you wrote science fiction ? In brackets.
Oh, that's because of the comments that Sean said. Nice to know that you're reading those, by the way.
Well, it made me question. I'm like, science fiction ? Is this as in it could be more than, it is still multiple genres, but still, I'm like, is it more science fiction? That's what made me think more of the Matrix kind of thing.
No, I just put it was just because of what Sean said. That's all. That's the only reason I put it.
Now Katie's got to go watch The Matrix during the week as well.
You've seen The Matrix, right?
Maybe too.
No, she said she didn't.
Nor will I be watching it.
Well, she's not a lot younger, but a little bit younger. I'm just trying to think, because I was probably 18 when that came out. So
yeah, it was high school.
No, I was in my 20s.
Yeah, I'm just placing where that puts Katie at the time it came out. So
probably
I had no interest in seeing it either. I'll have a look. I was just not interested in it.
You don't have to. Just don't watch it and keep telling people that you've never seen it.
Yeah, because people love it.
You can enjoy some of the fun that I have.
I was in primary school when it came out.
All right, let's end it there, guys. Thank you very much, and I guess I'll be talking to you before the end of this week again about the next episode.
Yes. Missy's happy about that, aren't you, Missy?
Hey, Missy.
Yeah, okay. I've got one here too.
Okay, bye, everyone.
Bye.
Yeah.